Hey Gearheads, and welcome to Garage Talk, a discussion about all things automotive. I'm Cory.
And I'm Matt. And each week, this podcast will serve as a catalyst for discussion on all sorts of topics that grind our gears, excite us, or just need an extra bit of conversation.
And in today's episode, we are going to really hone in on those things that grind our gears. And it is car trends and things that are happening in the automotive world that need to die.
Yes.
As mentioned before, Garage Talk is a discussion about all things automotive. And while this podcast will mainly feature our two voices, you can join the conversation online. Like us, follow us, tweet us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all at GT Garage Talk. You can email us your thoughts and opinions at gtgaragetalk@gmail.com or visit our website, gtgaragetalk.com, for more info and options to leave your opinions. We would love to hear from you. All right, Matt, I'm going to start us off not with things that need to die. I want to ease into this on a positive note.
Okay.
And that's going to be the automotive trends that are happening now that I would love to see expanded on or done more or brought back from the past.
Okay.
And number one and number two on my list go pretty close to hand in hand, and it focuses on an area where you spend all of your time on a car, and that is
under the hood.
That's you. And
okay. That's
you.
A Ford thing. Sorry.
yeah, that lovely engine of yours. No.
Yeah.
Inside the car.
Okay. All right.
You know, when you're driving it, its intended purpose. And the car interior. So one thing that I think really needs to be expanded on more is color options, two-tone colors, things of that nature inside a car, just to break up the monotony of black.
Yeah.
And on that note, when you go into like leather seats, two-tone leather seats. Oh my gosh, I love two-tone leather seats.
Absolutely.
VW, I think, is probably the only automaker within my price range right now that is doing a really good job of two-tone leather seats. And one step further on that would be something, a blast from the past, if you will. We just got back from a vintage car show today, and I saw many good examples of this. Houndstooth cloth interiors.
Yes.
Or in
bring it back.
Some more VW love, some plaid interior.
Absolutely. That was the direction I was leaning for sure too. With the Golf from way back before you and I were alive.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
They had those beautiful plaid, red and black and gray plaid inserts in those seats. The stitching.
Yes.
The colored stitching. Right?
Oh my gosh, yes.
So black leather seat, have that cream colored inlay.
Just
and then
something
some red
that it's
stitching around
not
the edge.
all black in there. So
yeah.
My current car, Chevy Cruze Eco, black interior. I will say I did not pick the exterior or interior color of this car. At the time I was trading it in and personalizing it, I gave he was actually the manager of the dealership. He and I go back. I gave him full reign. I told him I wanted a Cruze, I wanted an Eco, and I wanted a manual transmission, and he found what he found. So that's why I have black on black. It is by no means my choice, but oh my gosh, too much black for me. Like, I've got to have something breaking it up.
Yeah.
My car before that, Chevy Camaro, had the white anniversary edition interior inlay. Granted, it was hard plastic, but still, it broke up the black. And at night, it lit up in blue.
Ooh.
So I loved that. But just something like that. It's not a sea of black. And like the Chevy Silverado, they just came out with a midnight edition. You know what color it is?
Black.
You know what color the inside is?
Black.
You can have any color you want as long as it's
black.
Yep, just Model T all over again.
Yep.
So,
black on black used to be the thing, right? Like that special thing, not just something that
now everybody's going
that way.
It's all
what is it, Ford, or not Ford, but FCA calls it the Express or Blacktop Edition, whether it's the Ram or the Dodge vehicles. It's a little excessive. The black on black on black on black on black on black. Just yeah.
So one thing that Chevy guy, fanboy here, the new Corvette. Have you gotten on and built yours yet online?
Not a vet. No,
No,
I have not
no.
messed with the C8s yet. I actually just dabbled a bit with the Camaro
Yeah.
last week.
So one of the things, there is so much customization in the new C8 mid-engine Corvette. So much so that you have I believe it's 3 or 4 seatbelt color choice options.
Interesting.
And I love that.
Yeah.
It's a nothing thing.
Right.
And honestly, from the business side of things, how much more does it really cost you to dye a seatbelt red versus having it black?
Sure. Yeah, next to nothing, really.
Yeah. Why can't we put multiple colors in here? Why can't we put red inserts and a red seatbelt in my car? Dang it. Yeah. No argument for you.
No argument here. No.
Another automaker that's doing a good job, and I never thought I would say this. Did you know you could get an all red leather interior in a Toyota Camry?
Interesting.
A Toyota Camry, for crying out loud.
Very interesting.
There's a Camry in your history. Would you have ever imagined in that car's lineage that you could get an all red leather interior?
No, but I will say that Toyota is doing a good job of trying to create some sportiness.
They are.
In their lines.
They are no longer just appliances.
Right. Yeah. There's more personality, I guess, to the cars. Yeah.
Well, that's since they've moved to Texas.
That's true.
Yes.
That's very true. Yeah. Getting a little more in tune with their fan base. Huh?
Yes. Yes.
To expand on that a little bit, a beautiful, if I ever am able to build a truck exactly the way I want it, it will have the King Ranch red leather interior of the King Ranch Ford pickups.
I do enjoy the King Ranch interiors.
It's beautiful. My wife can't stand it.
It's like saddle leather, isn't it?
It's authentic, beautiful, supple, spectacular orange red leather on the interior of that truck.
Chevy's trying to do a little bit of it with their High Country. They've got a kind of off browny red color, but the King Ranch, and this from a Chevy guy. Yeah, King Ranch interior is something to behold.
It's all there. Yeah. It's pretty spectacular. To segue a little bit on something that I'm torn on. And that is the build and price options on websites, right? I think that for an auto manufacturer, that has got to be where they spend their money, right? As far as the marketing team is concerned, and you have marketing background, right? I think that is probably the most important page on their website.
Absolutely.
Right? And
for people like us, anyway.
Absolutely. But, and this is why I say I'm torn on this one, because I love getting on a website and dreaming about building a C8.
Yes.
Right? It's, wow. I don't see any time in the near future where I'll be able to afford even a base model $60,000 C8. Right? It's just not in the cards for me anytime soon. But it's a blast to dream.
Absolutely.
Where I begin to have issues is on a vehicle like the Camaro, and Ford's guilty of it too with the Mustangs, where there are so many options.
Oh my gosh. It has gotten insane.
It's overwhelming sometimes, the different things. And so you're working your way through, right? I want a 1LT Camaro with the V8, and just as an example, okay, Herman, a 1LT, a 2LT Camaro with the 6-speed manual and a V8, right? And then you say, well, I don't want the 373s, I want the 355s. Again, why?
Yeah,
but. So you click on that, right? And then you get this little box, this little window that pops up and says, in order to get this, you have to remove this, this, and this.
Yes. So it gets really bad in trucks because I've been building my Silverado. Cheyenne is her name. I've been building Cheyenne online for a very long time now. And I want a bench seat in the front of my truck.
I'm pretty sure we could do a whole episode on
Yeah.
bench seats.
Sarah Joe did not have bench seats. I was in a different place at that time. I was
Right.
luxury focused.
Yeah.
You know my car history. But I want a bench cloth seat in the front of my pickup truck. I want to be able to haul 6 people if I have to.
Absolutely.
And still have a nice place to rest my arm when I don't.
Well, and I've done that in my truck.
And I also want a sunroof. But did you know you cannot get those two things?
They don't go together.
They don't go together. You have to get bucket seats in order to get the sunroof.
That makes no sense, right?
Why should one impede on the other, right?
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
So I was building a Jeep Gladiator just a couple of nights ago, and to go back to the gearing example, if you choose the max tow option
Yep.
for the Jeep Gladiator,
Yep.
which is a pretty pitiful 9,500 pounds. I mean, it's not bad
For the
for
segment,
midsize.
it's not great.
It's not bad for the segment, right? But it's okay. But in order to get the max tow, you cannot have 410 gears.
Yeah.
Now tell me, when you go off-roading, you want as much gear as you can get, right?
Right.
That's what that truck is built for, right?
That is its primary focus. Yes, just like the Wrangler is meant to go off-road, the Gladiator is meant to go off-road.
Okay, so when I select that I want 410 gears and I want a 6-speed manual transmission, and I'll put up with, for another year, the 3.6 V6. Come on, 4-cylinder diesel. Sooner than later, please.
You can get it in the Wrangler.
You can get it in the Wrangler, you can't get it in the Gladiator yet, right? And I think it's only matched to the automatic.
It is.
Which is equally as disappointing.
Yes.
I think we will do an episode on manual versus automatic at some point.
We have to.
We have to. It's a dying breed.
Yes.
It really is. But as soon as you click on the max tow option, it takes away, and this makes no sense to me, it takes away the automatic or the manual transmission and the gears.
Yeah.
It changes them to 360 something or 370s.
Yeah.
Off-roading and towing. What do you want? Gears. Always. Every time.
Yes.
Why?
Marketing and cost reductions. They got to be able to market the packages together, and yeah, it's a tough one.
I'm spending more money to get less truck.
Yes.
It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah. So, my next 3 and my last 3 of things that I need to see more of kind of segue into all things I see wrong that need to go away.
Okay. Well, I have one more.
Okay. Go for it.
Interior based good thing.
Yes.
Heated steering wheels.
Oh my gosh. Yes. So the Cherokee my wife and I have has a heated steering wheel. I did not know such a wonderful thing existed. Like, I knew about heated seats.
Yeah.
But
when we have heated and cooled seats now.
Yes.
Which is some incredible technology in and of itself.
Absolutely, especially here in Texas.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. How often do you really need heated seats?
About 3 days a year.
Yeah. Or
Maybe
whenever
4.
whenever you got a pizza or something in the passenger seat you want to keep warm.
That's brilliant.
Yes,
I had not
see?
thought of that.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
But no,
Ingenuity.
at some point, I think that the heated steering wheel will be a standard option. Like,
Now, again, back to being from Texas, if they can ever figure out how to cool said steering wheel,
fair enough.
I'd pay tons of money for that option.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, because
Doesn't quite work like cooled seats, though.
Right. The worst possible thing, going back to your black interior, is to get in your black interiored car and grab a hold of a 4,000 degree steering wheel.
Yes.
Because it's been sitting in the sun for 8 hours while you've been at work.
And then my manual transmission car has metallic covering on the top of the...
Yeah.
I can't touch anything.
It brands the inside of your palm every time.
I'm surprised you don't see a gear pattern on the top of my hand.
Backwards R. And,
yes. So, again, my last 3 things, I'll kind of rattle through them all together as we segue into things that need to die. And that is color paint. I give me more color options.
Agreed.
I've already shared a blog post about this, put stuff up on social media. I don't think I'm alone on this. There's a whole study by iCars.com that I've shared just talking about how it's all monochrome. It's all grayscale, gray tones.
Yeah.
And I know I'm part of the problem with my black car.
Well, there's like 4 colors,
Yeah.
right? Black, gray, or silver.
And
white.
silver is a travesty of car colors.
I agree. Yeah.
It's a waste.
Yeah. White and then red.
Yep.
And that seems to be it for
Yep.
most vehicles.
Like I said, if it weren't for my wife wisely pulling back on my reins, I would have a Mojito bright green Jeep Wrangler in my driveway like right now.
You
Like,
said mojito, didn't
Mojito.
you?
Yes.
Mojito green.
Mojito green, with an exclamation point. Mojito green. It's marketing at its finest.
It is.
And it's just not in the cards for me because that color has now been discontinued. Surprise, surprise. And to be replaced with a boring, it's called Sarge green. It's an army green.
Okay.
It's still color,
Yeah.
but it's not my Mojito green. You can see I'm wearing Volt colored Nikes right now.
Yeah.
I like color.
Bright.
Give me color.
Definitely.
There is another bright color in the Wrangler lineup. If my wife were to ever have a Wrangler, she has already determined it would be in this color. Would you like to know its name?
I would.
Bikini.
Oh my.
When I hear that, I think pink. That's where my head goes, but it's actually a teal blue.
Okay.
It's a gorgeous color.
Yeah.
I would not be ashamed to drive it,
Okay.
but it's not Mojito.
Yeah.
I'm going to miss Mojito. But yes, color paint. Color options need to be a thing. Bring back the color.
I definitely think, I mean, because you get into the exotics and things like that, right? And there's like 8,000 different colors
gosh, yes.
for a Ferrari California, right? Yeah, I know you got your own opinions about that one. But they're all variants of black, red, white, and gray.
What shade of black would you like?
Yeah. We have this shade or this one or this one or, yeah.
Ferrari will at least throw a yellow in there.
Yes, that's true. That's true. But I see the trend being the lifestyle vehicles being the ones that get those color options, right? So like the Toyota Tacoma, the Ford Ranger, and the Wrangler Gladiator are kind of more in that lifestyle type of trucks. And so they're getting more options. Ford's got 2 or 3 different blues. The
Voodoo blue from Toyota is gorgeous.
Yeah.
Like, I would take that in a heartbeat.
Quicksand. If I were to go build a Tacoma right now, it would be quicksand.
Yeah.
Which I know is kind of a gray variant, but there's enough yellow in it. It's a cool color. So,
all right, last interior thing that I think we need to see more of. It's two things: volume knobs and redundant controls.
okay.
So I will, from experience, my wife's 2014 Jeep Cherokee Trailhawk has heated seats, heated steering wheel. The only way you can engage either of those options is through the infotainment touchscreen, which, if you are backing out of the garage or in reverse in general, is entirely dominated by the reverse camera. So until you put it in park or in drive or change the direction from backwards, there is no way to turn on your heated seats, heated steering wheel, or anything like that. Why do I have to surf through 20 million different menus just to turn on my hot seat?
Well, Corey, I think the argument could be made, why are you worried about your heated seat working or not while you're backing out of your garage?
I can multitask.
I don't.
I have a camera and all the beepers, so if I'm about to hit something's screaming at me.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
Yes.
Yeah. So why not distract your attention from the backing that you're supposed to be doing and worrying about toasty buns
and warm hands? Yes, yes. But redundant controls. So FCA has fixed this in several other of their vehicles, the Wrangler being a good example. Actual buttons for all those options. No need to go through the infotainment, though you can.
No 32-inch touchscreen like the new Escalade.
Yes,
like
that thing
everything is.
That thing is ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
And we can talk about the proliferation of screens in vehicles shortly.
Okay.
All right. Things that must die. I've got 2 exhaust-related ones for you, and I think you are going to agree wholeheartedly, so this will make for very dull listening unless we get fired up.
So alienate a few listeners, potentially?
No, I don't think so. I think this is a universal opinion here.
Okay, all right.
Fake exhaust tips. Case in point, the new Chevy Silverado that I've been pricing for myself.
Right.
The Trail Boss, which is the option, the trim package I would want.
Okay.
Has cutouts in the bumper that are in no way, shape, or form attached to the exhaust system.
Interesting.
At all. They are just chrome rectangles there for looks.
Interesting.
There is an exhaust pipe back behind them.
Right.
Not touching. I understand why they do this, direct injection and the soot build up on the end, but no, it's got to stop. Lexus, like, I'm pretty sure every Lexus vehicle has a chrome cutout. Again, not in any way, shape, or form attached to the exhausts.
Well, okay, so Ford has their own variation thereof.
I've got this on the list too.
On the Explorers,
yes,
right? The tip itself does not. It's still attached to the exhaust.
Yes,
but the exhaust pipe itself turns 90 degrees right before the tip and dumps out underneath. And related reasons, right? Keeping the soot off of the shiny parts.
But they still have this fake exhaust pointing backwards that has, like, it's like a cap gun. There's nothing down that tube if you are behind the vehicle looking at the exhaust.
Yeah.
It's stuck on.
I do appreciate, though, on the Silverado, I did not realize that on the Silverado that they were faux
Now
exhaust,
you can get factory or dealer installed catback exhaust, or even the Midnight Edition I referenced in earlier has actual quad exhaust tips.
Interesting.
And that would be the direction I'd go.
Yeah.
But standard Trail Boss or any Chevy Silverado you see with those rectangles on the bumper, they're not attached.
Those rectangles that make it very much look like a forklift could just
I knew you were going to go there.
Okay.
I know.
All right.
Yeah. Don't need it as much as you would on your Ford truck, right?
Very true. Very true.
All right. Another exhaust-related thing that I despise. Exhaust sound piped through the radio.
Thank you. I was really hoping, really hoping you were going this direction.
And I think the Ford Raptor is probably the worst offender.
Agreed.
Not to say that others don't do it. The BMW M5 does it.
Yeah.
And it doesn't need to.
No.
Like, it's got a decent sounding motor under the hood. It's not like the Raptor. It does have an incredible engine, but it's a V6.
Right. And it does not sound like a naturally aspirated pushrod V8.
Right.
It just doesn't.
Right.
But no, I'm completely on board with you on this one. Don't try and fake me out with the noises, right? Because number one, the people who care about the noise are going to be smart enough to know
that it's fake.
Yeah. And number two, the people who don't know what the fake would be
don't care about it
what the car
at all.
sounds like anyway. It's silly.
It is a waste of engineering. It's a waste of money. Like, how much was added on to the cost of that vehicle for that
option
to be added in that we could have put elsewhere?
Yeah, there was probably some focus group who lost their jobs over that one because
they probably got promoted in today's world. What are you talking about?
Well, as far as I know, though, the Raptor no longer offers that as an option.
That's good.
Yeah.
Well, somebody wisen up.
Correct me if I'm wrong on that, though. If they do still offer it, be sure to let us know.
Be sure to check us out, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, at GT Garage Talk. Shameless plug.
Fact check us, please.
Yes. So, this one. Floating roof.
This is one that has bugged you
since its inception.
Yes. Now, please explain to the listeners what exactly you're referring to.
And we will put all sorts of pictures out there. I'll write a blog post and share all the worst offenders of this new design technique. But the idea is that you put some sort of fake something on the last column, pillar, if you will, of the vehicle that separates the body color of the body from the body color of the roof.
And this is different than like the Mini Coopers with the white roofs.
Right. I love
the
Mini
FJ Cruisers that have
right.
the,
I love that design theme.
Yeah.
Bring back more Mini Cooper design theme, white roof. Yes, I love that. No, this is like the Nissan Murano of the world, where you've got just it's not even a window back there. You've got that little tiny porthole back there, and then everything else made to look like window, just so that there's some black in between the roof and the rest of the car.
I thought we had agreed not to talk about the Murano.
Oh, we could spend forever on the Murano. Forever. You know they made a convertible, right?
Again, I thought we agreed that we weren't going to talk about the Murano.
Yes, but it's gone so far. The new Kia Soul has just, and it's not even glossy plastic. It is just a flat black plastic strip that divides the roof color from the rest of the car. And again, we mentioned there are no car colors out there besides black. So why is there extra money being put into separating black from black?
I didn't even realize that the Soul was doing it.
Oh, yeah.
I knew Nissan was, but...
Nissan's gone heavy into it. The Sentra's got it. The Altima's got it. The Maxima's got it. The Murano's got it.
That is kind of silly.
Kia Soul has it. There are a few instances of it being done well. I will say the Buick Enclave does it fairly well. It's a unique enough angle and line that they took there, where I'm okay with it on that particular vehicle. But most vehicles that have this floating roof drive me insane. The Chevy Blazer. We keep coming back to the Chevy Blazer here. It's got that floating roof design, but the angles they took, I'm okay with it.
We keep coming back to the Blazer.
Yes.
But we have yet to find a good reason to come back to them. They're all negatives.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, like I said, I'm okay with the floating roof on the Blazer. Again, I see it possibly as a stupid use of money to
fanboy.
Yes, fanboy. And notice both of my positive examples are General Motors products. So, but it's just a waste. Like the Honda Odyssey minivan has the floating roof, and they take it one step further because it is actually the back glass wrapped around. So if you ever had to replace that back glass for any reason, it's going to be expensive.
Okay.
Really quickly.
Yeah, that was not a smart idea because those who own minivans typically have children.
Yes.
And those with children typically
break
allow
things.
their children that the minivan is the first vehicle that the child drives, right?
Yes.
My folks had a Grand Caravan.
Yeah.
And that was one of the... I mean, I did most of my driving learning to get my driver's license.
You poor soul.
in that van. I have a special place in my heart for minivans, so we can have that discussion a different day. But that just does not seem like a smart idea.
No.
Yeah,
so floating roof has got to go, especially, like I said, when there's a lack of colored vehicles out there. When you're separating black paint from black paint with this extra piece of plastic, why? Why build in that extra cost? I really would like to know how much Nissan is spending to make it look like their roofs are floating above their vehicles when they're really not, when they could have put that money elsewhere.
Yeah.
So,
all right,
that one's a pretty passionate one of mine.
Yeah, I'll throw one out here to you. What is up with the tailgates?
Oh, okay. So, fanboy's going to come out a little on this one.
Yeah.
So, explain to our wonderful listeners exactly what you're talking about.
All right. So, and I think probably Ford would be first at fault for starting this trend, but only up until the point where the things that Ford has added to the tailgate have only been a step.
Right.
Right? Right. Which is not a bad idea, right?
Absolutely not.
GM's got the cool little pockets in the bumper and the hand thing on the top of the rail.
Which I still maintain is a better solution.
Well, and I would agree with you, right? Because now we're talking about a $400 tailgate versus a $2,500 tailgate on the back of the Ford.
Goodness.
Right?
That's insane.
But why do we need a tailgate to be a dadgum Swiss Army knife? Like,
you mean, why do you need a tailgate in your tailgate, like the GMC Sierra?
yes. It just doesn't. Why? And the stupid commercials that GM puts out too. Na 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 na. Hey. Like, not to make it sound too much like it, because we don't have the licensing for that. But,
absolutely not. No money on the budget for that.
I'm saying goodbye to all things fancy tailgate. Right?
All things fancy tailgate.
All of it. Yeah. Throw it away.
Yeah.
Right? If it does anything other than open and close, it needs to go in the trash.
Counterpoint. Here I come. Fanboy, full steam ahead. So, to be fair, when GMC announced their multi-pro tailgate, as they have branded it, I thought it was the dumbest thing. Again, why are you adding extra cost to my vehicle? I shook my head at it until I started messing with it in practicality. For $0 and 0 cents, you can actually option back to a standard tailgate on a GMC Sierra.
Oh, so they don't pay you
to
option back to the standard tailgate.
Yeah, you don't even get money back for it. But no, that's how full bore they've gone into this multi-pro tailgate. In practicality, it's kind of fun. Would I buy it if I were on a budget? No. If money were no option and it's on the truck that I want, sure, I'll take it.
Yeah.
But
and you've seen Ram's most recent iteration, right?
The barn door.
Yes.
So they're kind of stealing a page from Honda.
How about from like the vans of the 60s? Because that's what it looks like. True. It looks like you've got van doors for a tailgate on the back of your truck.
A split, not even down the middle, because heaven forbid they mess up that beautiful Ram logo on the back of the truck. But you've got a 60-40 split on the back end of a Ram tailgate. Granted, this is an option. It's not like you're getting it on the Sierra.
Right.
But where you can open it up either as barn doors or as a standard tailgate. I think it's an interesting approach to a problem not many people have, being able to reach further into the bed.
Right, because the tailgate still comes off.
Right.
So why would you... I
don't think that tailgate does.
Well, that one, you're
right. You cannot
that
replace the standard tailgate with that after the fact. It either comes from the factory with the barn doors or it doesn't. Yeah, so that's like a built-in, cooked-in feature.
One of those other vehicles that I thought we had agreed to not ever discuss. You mentioned just a moment ago.
The Honda Ridgeline. There are many words I would use to describe that vehicle, but truck is not one of them.
Thank you.
But it does have a tailgate.
Ish.
Okay,
it has a tailgate as much as the Odyssey has a tailgate.
Well, I mean, it opens down. There's a bed back there where you can store things.
A Buick Roadmaster has a tailgate.
Yes.
So if a Buick Roadmaster has a tailgate,
then the Honda Ridgeline has a tailgate.
Then the Ridgeline, I guess, has a tailgate.
Granted, that thing either swings down or fully open. No barn door necessary
on that. It just
that.
kicks completely out of the way, which is a simplified version of the same thing.
Right.
I just think it's overly complicated. It's a pickup truck. It's made to work.
That's not, but...
Well, okay, yes. You're absolutely right. But it's just made to work. Just let it work. Let it be a truck.
So Sarah Jo, my 2007 Silverado, had just a standard tailgate. And in fact, with that body style, they introduced something that is becoming more and more a thing, stamped designs in the tailgate, because heaven forbid it be a smooth sheet of metal.
Right.
But I will say it was very easy to remove and put back when necessary.
Yep.
And that is not so much the case anymore. Did you know on the Chevy Silverado LTZ and High Country, you can get a power down and power back up tailgate. Again, you are rolling your eyes and giving me that look. It is something that is by no means necessary.
No.
I get it. I get it. It is a truck. It is meant to work. But the people buying the high country, they're
Fair
never
enough.
making them dirty.
That's kind of like the Platinums,
Yes,
right?
yes.
With the steps that fold up
Yes.
underneath. It's
But-
just, yeah.
In reality, the power up feature, if your hands are full of whatever, pillows, if you will, because you're not carrying dirt or anything back there,
Right.
you can nudge it with your knee a little. You
Mm-hmm.
don't even have to lift it all the way, and it'll do the rest for you. That's pretty cool. You have to admit, I mean, come on.
It's excessive technology.
It is.
It's not necessary.
I will agree with you that.
Put the stuff down and shut your dadgum tailgate.
So, yes. All right. Another one. And while we're on the topic of trucks, the Ram is the biggest offender
Oh,
of
boy.
alternate shifters. So Ram has a rotary knob, like a giant volume knob, if you will,
Right.
to shift into reverse drive, whatever.
There's no lever anymore at all.
Yeah. GM is leaning heavy into, as is Ford on some vehicles, push button shifters. The new Tahoe Suburbans, that whole line, Escalades, Yukons, all of that, they're all going push button. But I say, especially in trucks, and the day General Motors strays away from this, and it will happen, it's just the way the industry's going, but they are the last holdout of the good old-fashioned gotta jerk it down column shifter.
Right.
There's some grunt to it. I'm in a truck, I want to have to work
Exactly.
to get into gear,
Yeah.
not turn the volume up /
Yeah.
change
Absolutely.
it to.
Here's probably not nearly as practical of an argument for a lever for a shifter, but how are teenagers going to learn how to neutral drop their mom's car?
I've got another problem that faces teenagers coming up, and that is electronic handbrakes.
Oh,
Electronic
my.
parking brakes.
Oh,
the fifth
no,
generation
it's
Camaro
just not.
does no longer have a manual brake, handbrake in the middle of the car.
We are literally like killing off our entire species
Yes, we are.
simply by eliminating the handbrake. Because how are boys supposed to get girls' attentions if by any other means than a handbrake turn?
I know, right? And my 2012 SS, had a handbrake.
Had a handbrake.
My 2013 Chevy Cruze Eco has a handbrake.
I have a funny handbrake story actually about a Honda
do tell.
Civic.
Do tell.
So my roommate in college,
Safe driving, everyone.
safe driving. This is not what you do. Do as we say, not as we do. Okay. My roommate in college had a Honda Civic around the same year of
Right.
what mine was. 2-door, 4-cylinder, 5-speed.
Yep.
Fun little car. He and I and another friend of ours went. I forget where we went, but we went bombing around Oklahoma City one night while we were in college. It was awful cold that night. There was ice and snow and stuff in different places all around Oklahoma City that night. And we said, you know what, we're going to go get some food and watch a movie or whatever it was we were doing that night. It's not relevant to the story. We're cooking down the road, relative speed,
Yes.
35, 40 miles an hour. It is inclement weather,
Yes.
right? We're in the left lane. It's a 4-lane road, 2 northbound, 2 southbound.
Yep.
And up about 100 to 150 yards ahead of us, it's dark, but I notice a fire truck coming the other direction, right? And I was in the back seat, and for some reason, I decided it was a good idea to scare the mess out of my roommate and the girl in the car next to him by reaching between the two of them and grabbed hold of the ear brake. We all had to go change our britches after that one because the car pitched to the right, and he corrected, and then it pitched to the left, and we were staring down the nose of a fire truck in a 2000 Honda Civic that would not have done well if it had run up under the front of that fire truck.
No, not at all.
Yeah, and the worst part was, right, I was just planning on reaching up, locking up the rear end and then dropping it. Well, it ratchets, and once I yanked up on it, I go flying towards the front of the car, and I've lost control of.
You did not think this plan through very well, did you?
Think this one through at all. No. And so he's trying to figure out what's going on and correcting the car and grabbing gears and everything else.
Our species is at risk for getting rid of said e-brake handle.
Oh, definitely.
because that story does not lend credence to that viewpoint.
But did you die? Right? That
is true.
That's the ultimate question. All these.
And now you've got this
crazy,
wonderful story to share with all our wonderful listeners.
Oh, I have too many stories in that car. Too many stories.
Oh my goodness. Well, we're running out of time, but I want to focus on just a related few topics as our final launching off point. And I'm sure the comment section of all our posts will light up throughout the entirety of this video. But this one, I think, would probably have more fans than detractors, and that is start-stop technology, aluminum, all the things, and just the overall focus on fuel economy.
Okay.
So, as you know, Ford with the new F-150 has everything's aluminum, all aluminum body on it.
Yeah.
The same thing that they make Coke cans out of.
Yeah.
That you can smash on your forehead.
It's a little different. But.
Yeah. Chevy is going in. They're dipping their toes in the water. Anything that has hinges is aluminum.
Okay.
Ram, I believe, doing the same thing. And that is the direction we're going with the idea of saving weight.
Right.
The end goal being fuel economy. And I know there are government standards and they can only sell so much. And Ford is almost at a disadvantage having the F-150 being the number one vehicle sold in America.
Right.
Because it is skewing their government numbers that they're trying to hit worse than anyone else.
Yeah.
But my 2007 V8 powered, it was a two-wheel drive, but full-size pickup truck.
Yeah.
Got as good a gas mileage as anything brand new now.
Yeah.
That does not have start-stop technology. And for those of you who don't know, that's when you come to a complete stop at a red light. The engine turns off completely and starts back up when you lift off the brake. Now,
it'll scare the mess out of you if you're not expecting it.
And anyone who has... Startup is the worst time.
Yes.
In an engine's life cycle.
Yes.
Because it is not lubed up.
Nope.
It's metal on metal.
Yep.
And so why are we increasing how many times we're stopping and starting a vehicle for the sake of fuel economy?
Because vehicles are throwaway anymore.
And to get one more MPG.
One more MPG. I don't completely understand the drive for efficiency other than governmental regulation is just coming down so hard on the auto industry. And I think could potentially be the death of what we know as the auto industry. It's insane, some of the regulations and things. I heard, and this has been several years ago, probably 2008, 2009, one of the discussions was requiring every vehicle to get 30 miles to the gallon or better by 2025.
I would love for that to be the case, but the means by which we get to that point, I am not okay with.
Regulation is the enemy of innovation.
Right. And, we can talk politics all we want, but you speak with your dollars, and as people start shopping certain things, you'll see what is truly popular versus what is coming down from the government on high.
Oh, sure. So, well, and I think the argument could be made that, especially right now, with fuel prices as low as they are, I think definitely has a direct impact in the fastest growing segment in the auto industry, which is SUVs. Right. Full size all the way down to the little microscopic, super efficient.
Ford says, forget the car, we're going all SUV.
Yeah.
So that's actually a great segue. We're nearing the end of our time together, but we definitely want to hear from you on these topics. What are things that aggravate you, that are just prolific in the automotive industry, and what are some things that they used to do that they don't do anymore, or they could do better or do more of? Let us know. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter at GT Garage Talk. You can email us, gtgaragetalk@gmail.com, or find us on our website, gtgaragetalk.com, and share all of your thoughts and opinions. We would love to hear them. We'll read them all. And who knows, you might find yourself on an episode in the near future. We shall see what the future holds for us. In the meantime, like I said, let us know your thoughts and opinions on today's episode. We're looking forward to next week talking to you a little bit of SUV history. What got us to the point now where Ford is saying, you know what, forget the car.
And where did we go wrong? Why?
So we thank you so much for listening, and we look to hear back from you. In the meantime, bye.